So in the last video, I said that I wanted to make more things to inform. So what I did here was I made a list of things that I personally do and some things that maybe can help somebody else if they were to, hear this video. Maybe it can help them and maybe it can't. I don't know, but we'll see. Like in advance, I apologize if I clear my throat a lot. Like it's just something I do. So I apologize in advance. But one problem that can arise is too much fluid intake. The clinic generally would like patients to be at around 1.5 kilos to 2.5 kilos when coming in. If it's too much, it can cause complications. Maybe not short term, but long term. So it's very important to keep fluids to a minimum. So one thing I do to sort of alleviate this problem is I measure out the fluids I drink beforehand for the day. Sometimes I drink a little less, sometimes I drink a little more, but I try not to go over too much. I try to drink about 32 ounces of fluids, whatever it is, water, juice. I sort of factor all of that into my fluid intake for that day. I weigh myself after I leave the clinic at home, and depending on how much I'm gaining, I'll slow down drinking or I'll stop altogether. I try to keep myself as healthy as possible by not drinking alcohol or doing any drugs of any kind. If your doctor has proven that they care about your health and your well-being, listen to them. They're not trying to hurt you, and being stubborn will only hurt you. Staying out of the hospital is always a goal for me. I've seen how bad it can get, and I never want to go back to that ever again. It takes a while for the body to replenish the nutrients it loses from dialysis. So I do little things to put those nutrients back in to cut recovery time. Now, people will try to tell you that there's nothing that you can do, and that's not necessarily true. Just as much as your body will respond to you putting garbage in it, it'll respond to you putting good things in it too. For example, I mix sports drinks with water, and I sip on it throughout the day and get protein, and try to eat protein-rich foods to replenish the proteins and electrolytes that I'll lose from dialysis over long periods of time. I'll never feel normal, but it's some control. Aside from a lot of the physical stuff, the one thing that doctors and people in the medical profession really don't take into account is the emotional toll it'll take on you. And I've said this before in other videos, but it's okay to not be okay. It's something that I have to remember. Some days are going to be better than others, and it's okay to feel bad. Sometimes there's nothing you can do about it. Never let anyone make you feel bad about being sick. This helps tremendously. Surround yourself with people that love and support you in this difficult time. Avoid toxic people in your circle. They won't help you. If anything, they'll abandon you when you need them most. And you don't need that. You don't need somebody to make you feel bad because you feel bad enough. Emotionally, staying healthy is just as important as physical health. If you can't talk to your peers or your family, then seek professional help. I apologize if it sounds like I'm reading because I am. Talking to someone that's objective can help tremendously. That somebody that won't judge you, but just listen. Family and friends can be too close to be objective because they love you and they want to help you and they want to see you succeed. One thing that helps me is understanding that people will not really understand what's happening to you and not to get angry at them for it. Rather, try to explain if they're receptive to hearing you. It can be very lonely, admittedly, but you have some people that don't understand, or they don't want to understand, or they can't understand. So it's important for you to sort of walk them through what you're going through. It's okay not to like dialysis, but understand that it's something that you should do if things aren't too bad for you. I hate doing it, but I don't skip treatments no matter how I feel. If your health has not diminished too much and you are capable of going, then you should go. I try to put a little bit of distance between me and dialysis as much as I can. But I mean, in the reality, you're never really going to be able to put too much distance between you and it, especially if you're going like 3 or 4 times a week for like 4, sometimes 5 hours, sometimes 6 hours, depending. You're never going to have a full disconnect from it. But try not to let it consume you. Have other things to do, like hobbies, games, art, music, anything fun that you like to do. Exercise, running, walking, anything that you can do. Writing has helped me with this whole process. Get a journal and put everything in it. Hold nothing back. Fears, hopes, dreams, insecurities, nightmares, love, hate, all of it. Get those emotions out of you. The weight can be crushing if left unchecked, and it will overwhelm you if you let it. Something that I'm struggling with is staying active. I used to do martial arts for a number of years, and my illness sort of derailed my training for a long time, and I lost a lot physically. And besides that, transplant centers want you to be in a certain shape to know that their efforts aren't wasted and that you'll be compliant. So if you're on a transplant list and you're not doing what you're supposed to do to adhere to their rules, they're like, oh, we just gave this guy a kidney for nothing because he just went right back to doing the same things that he did before, or he's just going to damage the kidney. So what did we just help this guy for? We just wasted our time. I try to be introspective and work things out myself by thinking a lot and working on myself. Now, this is something that I do. It's my process. I don't like to waste the nurses and techs' time. So I meditate a lot and reflect on things because these people aren't therapists. They have a job to do. And their caring can only go so far before you have to start taking responsibility for what goes on inside your head. Rest. I cannot stress this enough, is very important. You'll trend down if you don't get enough rest. Sleep is so important to recovery time. Sometimes it can be hard because dialysis can cause sleep problems. I know it did for me. Like, I was having trouble sleeping when I initially first got on dialysis. I'm not really sure why that is. I don't know if it's because of the imbalance that dialysis causes. But try to get as much rest as you can. If you can, try to create a relaxing atmosphere that promotes sleep, inside and outside. Educate yourself. This is a big one for me. On your condition, how you're supposed to feel based on research about other patients. Never be in the dark about what's happening to you, or what the techs do, or what the machines do to you and for you. It's okay to ask questions. Getting answers goes a long way to eliminate or lessen fear. Know why you are there. at the clinic, what they're doing and why they're doing it. It shows initiative, and people around you will care because you do in most cases. If you don't care, no one else will. Be proactive in your health and feeling better. If you can, if you are capable of, like, physically capable of doing it. I understand that some can't, but if you can, you should. Knowing something is better than knowing nothing at all. Take ownership. If you are the one that is responsible for your condition, accountability can lead to change. Own it. And understand that if it's not your fault, if you are not responsible for why your kidneys failed, it's okay to understand that it's not your fault. It can be easy to blame yourself, but you should never do that. The circumstances were out of your control. People get sick. It's not a personal thing. It's not like there's this grand conspiracy, against you. It's an unfortunate thing that happens to people, to anything that's living can get sick. And it's not your fault that you got sick. It's this random thing, this random occurrence that just happened to happen to you. Like it happened to me. I didn't do anything to cause my kidney failure. It's just something that happened as a result of something else that happened. And my kidney disease was the fallout of that. And I can't blame myself for that. Sometimes it's just not your lucky day. As simple as that sounds, genetics are a toss-up. And whatever genes you get are whatever genes that you get. And you can't outwork your genes. Whatever pre-conditioned, illnesses or conditions that you have, sometimes you can't outwork that. And bad stuff happens. Now, there's a misconception about me that like I am a man of faith or I am a man of God. I don't subscribe to this way of thinking, but if you are, faith can help a lot from what I'm told. The belief in something higher than yourself can get you through a lot. If you feel like you don't have the strength to get through something, I've heard that belief in a higher power can help with that a lot. I've always subscribed to myself because, a lot of my faith has been shaken, completely crumbled, completely decimated because of events and things that have happened in my life. So I don't really seek the Judeo-Christian version of God like some people would, like some, like a lot of how some black people would or are, and I'm doing air quotations here, supposed to do. But, if this particular thing applies to you, then, that's good. This whole situation with my autoimmune disease and the kidney failure is not ideal for me. It's not ideal for anyone. But these are things that I do. There's more, but I'll leave it here for now. Thank you for listening.